Preparing the environment to work with PHP will not be complete until we get our text editor. Now, a text editor is simply a software that we will use to write our PHP code. And for this study, we're going to be using the Sublime text editor. We're going to be using Sublime text editor, and this editor is free for download at www.sublimetext.com, and the download link is at www.sublimetext.com/2. That's where you can get Sublime Text 2 for download. The text editor we're going to be downloading now is sort of going to be like a trial, even though the trial runs forever. That's the beauty of Sublime Text. You can keep trying and trying forever, because all you need to just confirm your usage of Sublime is to pay for a confirmation. Just pay for a little fee for a confirmation, and they'll just confirm your Sublime software, and you can keep on using it. But here we're just going to download it, and we're going to be using it for free. So you see here we have different versions for different operating systems. We have the Mac OS, the Windows, and the Linux operating systems. You can download for whichever version or whichever operating system you are working with. So I've already downloaded Sublime Text, so I'll just go straight into the Sublime Text environment. This is how the Sublime Text environment looks like. And one reason why I've chosen the Sublime Text environment for development in PHP is actually the way it separates variables from functions and all other PHP elements with different colors. The coloring is actually very, very lovely. It works well. It works a lot. Some text editors just display all the text in black. Some just display it in a mono color. It can be blue, green, or whatever, and it might not actually help you as a user to distinguish different PHP elements that you may be working with. So that is one reason why Sublime Text was chosen. It actually has a very good color separation. So to create a new file, just go to File, so a new file. Then we're just going to save this file. The file, save as. I'm going to save this in the Fast PHP introduction folder. I'm going to call this first.php. Now, PHP files are saved with a .php extension, so always note that you must always save your PHP files with a .php extension. So once we save it, just have Sublime Text displays the name of our file, first.php. Now quickly I'm going to be showing you how to start up a PHP file, how to start coding with PHP. To start coding with PHP, you must first enclose all your code within what is called the PHP opening and closing tags. To open PHP, you simply have an angle bracket, and you have the question mark, then you put like PHP. This forms the opening PHP tag. You have the angle bracket, the question mark, and you write PHP. Then to close PHP, you simply have your question mark and the closing angle bracket. So that's how you open and close PHP. That's how you open PHP and close PHP. Once you do this, the server immediately recognizes that whatever you have within here is PHP code. So I'm just going to be displaying hello world on the browser. I'm going to use a PHP function called echo. Echo is a function you're going to be using a lot. It's used to actually display something on the browser, and here we're just going to be displaying a string that says hello world, and we're going to end up with a semicolon. Now every PHP statement must be ended with a semicolon. It shares this familiarity with programming languages like Java or C or C++. You must end every statement with a semicolon. This actually tells the server that you are ending this line of code. You are ending this line of code at this point. So take note, always end your PHP with a semicolon. It's PHP statements, end it with a semicolon. We're just going to save that. Now we'll see how we can preview this on our screen, on our browser. Rather, I'm just going to go into Opera, open a new tab. Now to locate this file. I said earlier that I created a folder called fast_php inside the htdocs folder. That's the folder that houses all our sites. So first, to locate my site, I'm going to type localhost. I'll put a /. Then after localhost, I'll type the name of my site, which is fast_php. That's the name of the folder containing my site. Then /. The file we're working with is inside a folder called introduction, also inside the fast PHP folder. So we have introduction /, and I've named my file first.php. So we're just going to say first.php. First.php. So notice this, the first thing that comes is localhost. I put a /, then what comes next is the name of the folder that contains your site. Here we have fast_php. Inside fast_php we have the introduction folder, and inside the introduction folder we've saved our file, which is first.php. So let's load the page, and you see it simply says hello world, hello world. So we've been able to use the echo function in PHP to spit out hello world onto our page. So that's how you locate your files in PHP when you're working with them. Remember, localhost /, the name of your site, that's the name of the folder concerning your site, / any other relative part to your file, and that is how it works in your browser. That's how you locate files in your browser. So we'll just go back into Sublime, and quickly I'm going to be showing you how to create a comment in PHP. Now, some of you might not be familiar with comments. Comments are actually lines in your code that are not to be read by the server as code. These are just notes within your code. It kind of provides a way to tell yourself what you're actually doing at a point in your code. This is not read as code by your web browser, or your web server rather. Your web server just ignores it. So to write a comment in PHP, there are actually two ways you can write a comment in PHP. First is a single line comment. A single line comment starts with 2 /. Then after the 2 / you can write anything you want. Here I'll just say I echoed hello world. I echoed hello world. So I'm telling myself here that I going to echo hello world. That right here I'm echoing hello world. So this is a comment, and it is not read by the web server. If I save this and go back into Opera and reload the page, you see I just have my hello world there, and my comment is nowhere. My comment is not affecting my code or having anything to do with my code. So that's how comments work. This is a single line comment. If you come to the next line and start typing, it doesn't recognize it as a comment anymore. You see the color is now purple and not the light gray that we have here. So to create a multi-line comment in PHP, you do a /, then you put an asterisk. You can actually put as many asterisks as you want, but one asterisk is enough. Then you can come and write as many lines as you want. This is a multi-line comment. So you see this comment is actually allowing me to write multiple lines of text, and you close it by simply putting an asterisk and a /, the reverse of the opening syntax. You just put an asterisk and a /. If I don't close it, it's going to recognize every other thing that is down here as a comment. So when you know your comment has ended, just put an asterisk and a /, and you see everything comes back to normal. You save that. See, if you come back to our browser and refresh the page, it still has nothing to do. It doesn't interfere with our code. So that's how you write comments in PHP. Very soon we're going to be getting into very deep PHP syntax. Sorry, we're going to be getting into very deep PHP syntax, but I just want you to get familiar with this. This is how you start a PHP code. You write angle bracket $PHP, and simply put your code in between that, and whenever you're done with writing PHP, you can always close it with a question mark and the closing angle bracket.